Hi, this is Jose David, marriage counselor, and today we'll be talking about the book 90 Day Guide to Save Your Marriage. Chapter 4, which is week 6, Fighting Fairly. This chapter has a lot of good information. If you've been in a relationship for a time now, you know that there's going to be arguments and disagreements and difficulties, which is normal. That's just part of life. But it is very important that you know how to be productive when you're fighting, because fighting can help your relationship get better. But if you engage in destructive fighting, which is what most couples end up doing or get stuck in, it can be, the end of your marriage. So just know that disagreements are normal and that they're going to happen, and when you have two people that are living in so close proximity, that's to be expected. So just focus on the fights being fair and constructive. That's very important. Okay. First, you have to keep your arguing relevant. If you're discussing about something, go through that discussion without bringing any other situations into the front of the conversation or the argument, because then it's just going to be all over the place and you're not going to resolve anything. Don't attack your husband or wife or partner personally. That's just never a good idea. Don't blame each other. That's never going to get you anywhere. Blaming your spouse or partner is not going to make things better, and it's just going to hurt each other. Just going to hurt each other, and it's going to make things worse. Just be realistic about what you're expecting out of the argument, and don't lose sight of what really matters, which is each other. Don't yell. That's a big no-no. Don't yell. Don't raise your voice. If you raise your voice or your tone is too aggressive, bring it down a notch. And you might not be aware of that because you're in the heat of the moment, the conversation, but try to work on that. Never ever use physical force. Never ever use physical. There's never an excuse for that. And so if you do that, or if you've done that in the past, then maybe there's some deeper issues that you need to look at. And maybe you need to attend therapy. Using the threat of divorce in the heat of the argument, it's always going to, make things worse. Okay, it's not going to make it any better, and it's going to be, hard to convince your spouse or partner that you are fully committed to this relationship if you keep threatening that you're going to divorce them. And it makes the situation seem much bigger than it is. Fighting fairly means that you guys get to express your own feelings and you feel heard. That's the most important thing. And that, that you're going to find, even if you don't find a resolution for your argument or problem, just the fact that you feel heard, that you're taken into account, that you're important enough, that you feel that whatever has happened to you matters, that goes a long way. Don't think that you have to win. There's no winning in arguments in marriage. There's always you're both gonna lose, because even when you win, you're losing in your marriage. The focus of the disagreement would be to gain as much information about what the problem is, so you can find a solution that will help both of y'all live a better life. That's really what arguing and having disagreements should be about. Then we're going to move into some of the workbook exercises and scenarios, and I thought it was important that we go through some of the most important guidelines that the workbook gives you. And like all healthy relationships experience conflict, and that's fine, but not every battle needs to be bloody, like the book says. You don't have to draw blood. It doesn't have to be something tragic. And I think one of the first suggestions that we have is fight early and fight often, which means don't hold on to grudges. If something is bothering you, just come out and say it, and and it'll be okay then. Instead, if you were like, I'm just gonna wait till see if he or she notices that I'm upset about this, and they probably have no idea and they're not aware of it, and so you're just gonna hold on to that grudge, and that's gonna eat you up, and it's gonna make the situation and the relationship even worse. Use I statements. Take responsibility of what you feel. Okay, a lot of times instead of blaming, just say, when you do this, it makes me feel this way, or I feel like this when you do this, or whatever the case may be. But take responsibility. Don't say you make me feel, because they don't make you feel a certain way. You are the owner of your feelings, so whatever is going on with your feelings is your responsibility. So hopefully that will help you. And also changing the language a lot of times helps. Because a lot of times we get stuck in the way we tell our spouse or partner things. We tell them in a negative way, as a demand, as a question, as sarcasm, irony, whatever. It's not productive or constructive. Another one is obviously don't disrespect your spouse or partner, because once you cross that line, everything's fair game. They can disrespect you in return, and so then that's not fighting fairly, and it's going to make your relationship worse. Don't include other people in your relationship. Third parties are never good in a relationship, because kids, parents, friends, whatever the case may be, don't bring them in. Don't bring their opinions into your relationship. It's just not constructive. And if you're having an argument, pay attention. Be in the moment. Don't watch TV. Don't play with your phone. Whatever the case may be. Take the time to actually be in the fight. Be in the moment. Don't try to avoid it. If things get heated, take a break, or if you think that you need some time to process what just happened and you can't go at it right now, take a break, and that's okay. Don't do the silent treatment. That's, very common sometimes, just to completely close off, and because a lot of times it makes things worse than they are, and it makes situations that are not as bad pretty bad. Okay, because there's a lot of hurt when that happens. And learn to agree to disagree sometimes. That's okay. Sometimes you need to agree to disagree. Obviously, we talked about no blaming and no below the belt remarks. A lot of times we're in a disagreement, argument about something else, and we bring out things that we know are going to hurt our spouse or partner. And that's never okay, because then we're not fighting fair. We're bringing something in that's going to be destructive. And so don't do that. That's one of the most important things. So go through the exercises in your workbook. As always, be honest, and the more honest you are, the more helpful these exercises are going to be for you. Okay? Thank you.